Hello, and welcome to Econ Echoes. I'm your host, Sagar Raut, and today we are diving into the mind of one of history's greatest thinker, Aristotle. If you have ever sat for a philosophy class, you might have heard about his name. But today, we are going to uncover a lesser known side of Aristotle, his economic reflections. That's right, this ancient Greek philosopher wasn't just busy pondering the nature of reality or the meaning of virtue. He was also laying the early foundations of economic thought through his ideas on value, exchange, and household management. In ancient Greece, especially Athens, there used to be a commercial, political, administrative, social, religious, and cultural center in the city. It used to be called as the Agora. Now imagine an ancient Athenian agora, merchants shouting out deals, citizens haggling over prices, and families managing their households with an eye not only on survival but on achieving a good life. In that vibrant setting, Aristotle was taking notes, observing how people managed resources, exchanged goods, and balanced the need of their homes with the demands of the marketplace. Today, we'll explore how his reflections continue to echo through time, influencing modern economic thought in ways you might not expect. So, let's start by setting up the stage. Let's try to see ancient Greece through Aristotle's eyes. We are in ancient Greece, around the 4th century BCE approximately. Athens is at its peak, a center of art, philosophy, and democratic ideals. But beneath the splendor of grand temples and dramatic performances lies the everyday life of its citizens. Families worked hard to manage their homes, known as oikonomia, a term that would eventually evolve into our modern-day concept of economics. That's actually a fun fact. Did you know that the word economy comes directly from the Greek word oikonomia, which means household management? Aristotle saw the household as a microcosm of the state, a place where careful management and balance were essentials. As you can clearly see, the modern-day microeconomics actually stems its root in the Greek philosophy. Aristotle surely wasn't writing long treatises solely on abstract theories. He was deeply interested in practical life, how families could live well, how resources should be distributed, and how trade could serve the common good. His observations were both philosophical and practical, blending ethics with what we might call real-world economics. Aristotle was trying to build a balance between nature and commerce. That was his idea between value and exchange. One of Aristotle's fascinating contributions was his analysis of value and exchange. He made a key distinction between what he called natural exchange and unnatural accumulation. In simple terms, natural exchange is the idea that trade should serve a purpose, fulfilling genuine needs. For instance, exchanging wheat for olive oil makes sense because both are essential for daily life. Now, I might hurt the sentiments of a lot of cryptocurrency experts, but imagine you trying to actually exchange a cryptocurrency for something which is extremely valuable. Aristotle would call it completely unnatural accumulation. The reason is because you are not really giving anything of value in return of value. That might be true to modern day money as well. However, the modern day money is still backed by central bank's promise. Aristotle argued that this kind of trade was beneficial and rooted in nature because it involved the mutual satisfaction of needs. However, he was critical of the pursuit of wealth for its own sake. He called it chrematistics. He believed that accumulating money beyond what was needed to run a household was not only unnatural but also detrimental to the moral fabric of the society. Aristotle was so cautious about the idea of wealth accumulation that he believed money should serve as a medium of exchange, not as an end in itself. Imagine if we all approached our bank accounts with that mindset today. Perhaps our spending habits would be a little bit more in balance. This distinction laid the groundwork of later economic debates about the role of profit and the ethical limits of commerce. It's a conversation that resonates even in modern times, as we grapple with the questions about consumerism, sustainability, and the social responsibilities of the business. We need to understand that Aristotle's focus was on household management, that is, oikonomia. And I really feel that that was original economics 101. I guess we should talk more about household management. For Aristotle, managing a household wasn't just about keeping the lights on. It was about cultivating a good life. He saw the household as the basic unit of the society, where economic decisions were intimately tied to the well-being of its members. Aristotle emphasized the importance of balance, ensuring that resources were allocated wisely, needs were met without excess, and that every member of the household contributed to the common good. This holistic approach is strikingly modern. Today, we talk about budgeting, saving, and ethical consumption, but Aristotle was already doing this thousands of years ago. One of the key insights from his work on oikonomia was that economic activity should be conducted in service of living a virtuous life. In other words, the goal wasn't just to accumulate wealth, but to create a stable, nurturing environment where individuals could flourish. It's a perspective that encourages us to think about economics not as an isolated discipline, but as a crucial part of our overall well-being. Finally, I guess we should also reflect on his legacy. There is a school of thought that Aristotle left behind, and it has lasting influences. While Aristotle was primarily a philosopher, his economic reflections influenced several schools of thought that followed. His ideas on value and exchange, for example, provided a moral framework that was later debated by medieval scholastics. Thinkers like Thomas Aquinas, who adopted Aristotle's ideas to fit within a Christian worldview. These discussions helped shape the concept of a just price that would echo through centuries of economic theory. Moreover, Aristotle's emphasis on practical ethics in economic activity found its way into the development of modern welfare economics and even corporate social responsibility. The idea that economic activity should contribute to the common good rather than merely the accumulation of wealth is a thread that runs through debates on sustainability, social justice, and the role of business in society. Here's a fun fact. Even though Aristotle lived some 2,300 years ago, many of his observations are still cited today in discussions on economic morality. It's a testament to the enduring power of his thought that we continue to learn from his reflections on how we live and work together. Alright, so now let's have some reflection. What did we actually learn today? First and foremost, the crux of Aristotle's ideas were purposeful trade. Always ask yourself, does this exchange meet a genuine need, or is it driven by the mere desire to accumulate wealth? The second thing that we can reflect upon is ethical balance. Consider how your economic choices, whether as a consumer or a business, contribute to the broader community. Third, household management as a microcosm. Recognize that sound economic principles start at home, with responsible budgeting and resource allocation that support a balanced, virtuous life. Aristotle's ideas remind us that economics is not just about number of graphs. It's about people, relationships, and the value that underpin our everyday decisions. His work invites us to see economics as a living, breathing part of a culture, a tool for creating a society where prosperity is measured not only in wealth but in quality of life. With this, I would like to end my podcast. Thank you for joining me on this wonderful journey through the economic mind of Aristotle. I hope you enjoyed exploring how his reflections on value, exchange, and household management laid the early foundations of economic thought, and how his timeless insights continue to inform our modern world. This has been Econ Echoes. where we find joy in understanding the past to better navigate the future. I am your host, Sagar Raut. Remember, every great idea has a story, and every story has the power to inspire us to live more thoughtfully. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep living wisely.